Hi, Tim from Fair Play Now, and I've got a little bit of a question for you. Do you want to live until you're 150 years old? Because that is a question Jeremy Vine was asking one of his guests on his show a few years ago. I don't really do mainstream media anymore, so I haven't watched or listened to the Jeremy Vine show on Radio 2 for quite some time now. But we're going back probably 3, maybe 4 years, and he had this guest on his show, and it was a young guy who was aiming to live until he was 150 years old. Yeah, so of course Jeremy Vine was asking this guy, well, you know, how are you going to live into 150 then? And the guy said, well, what I'm going to do is obviously not do any of the unhealthy stuff, so no alcohol, no drugs, no smoking or anything like that, of course, and I'm going to do all the healthy stuff. So yeah, very, very, very good diet, strictly adhered to, just drinking water and lots of exercise, etc. And then hopefully by the time I get to sort of about 100, they'll have drugs and technology which will make getting to 150 a lot more likely than obviously is these days, or at the moment, because it's impossible to live that long currently. But that's what he is hoping for. And then he went on to say that he was going to try and avoid any sort of accidents or anything else that might end his life prematurely, just by basically living a very, very safe life. You know, not travelling, not really going out very much, or only when he had to. You know, trying to get a job where he could work from home, etc., etc., etc. And basically it just sounded like he was going to live the life of a monk, really. And I just remember thinking at the time, mate, what is the point of that? You know, what is the point of living to 150 when you've got almost no life at all? You might as well just live to half that age, 75, and have a nice, rich, full, proper, normal life. You know, yeah, sort of experiencing lots of fantastic experiences, lots of fun, travel, adventure, and all the rest of it. Why are you denying yourself just to have this long but very, very boring life? I just couldn't understand it. And fast forward a few years to 2020, and that's almost the attitude that so many people have got in this country now. It's like, well, you know, I don't want to die from COVID. You know, therefore I want to stay indoors as much as I can. I want to avoid human contact as much as I can. And when I go out, I want to take all these precautions, masks, gloves, washing my hands every 5 seconds. And I don't want to be travelling. I don't want to be going on airplanes and airports and busy stations where there's all sorts of people all around me. I don't want any of that. And I'm thinking, again, what is the point of that? Yeah, you might live a few more years, but really, is a life with all these COVID restrictions, lockdowns, wearing a masks, etc., etc., sort of worth not having risk in your life? Or would you rather just get back to normal, take your chances with the virus, accept that it's a risk, just like you've got risks with everything else, many of which are more risky of coming a cropper with or dying from than COVID is, certainly if you're under a certain age anyway. No, you don't sort of limit your life because of things like that, you know, because you're afraid of having a car accident, because, oh, I'm not going to go in a car because I'm afraid of having a car accident. I'm not going to go outside because I'm afraid of getting struck by lightning or stung by a bee. All of those things, by the way, you stand more chance of dying from than you do of COVID if you're under the age of about 60. So, but you don't limit your life because of those things, so why limit it because of COVID? So anyway, I'll leave it there. I just thought, I remembered that story from the Jeremy Vine show, the guy who wanted to live to 150, and I just thought, you muppet. And that's what I think of all these people now who are just overly concerned about COVID, as well. Yeah, just take your chances with the virus, get out there, get back to normal, live your life, and don't live this life of hell, because you might live a few more years, but do you really want to live a few more years of life in hell? Anyway, that's the end of today's little rant. That's Tim from Fair Play Now. Thanks for watching.